welcome to Metro Arts. I'm your host, Naksheen Nassif. Here on Metro Arts, we highlight some of the best in the business, from fine artists, photographers, and performing artists to cinematographers and musical artists, all from the Metro Detroit area. On today's show, we have visual artist Halima Cassels, producer M.G. Kelly, and punk band Agro or Die. We'd like to welcome visual artist Halima Cassels to the Midtown Studio. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Okay, sure. Born and raised in Detroit. I attended Cass Tech High School and am returning after 10 years away back to the city. I've been a professional artist for the past 8 years.
Okay, so when did you create your first artwork?
Oh, my first artwork?
Yeah.
That would be age 2.
What? That's amazing.
My dad was recaulking the bathtub, and I decided I wanted to do a mural on the side of my mom's bookcase.
Okay.
So I moved a bench over, grabbed the caulking gun, and went to work.
Smart 2-year-old. So your artwork currently focuses on painting, mixed media creations, and mural making in the community. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. I've always been drawn to painting, and so I've always painted my entire life. And just kind of as an evolution, I've added other things in, and so other design elements, collage, photography, mixed media, and my life's journey has kind of brought me to murals, and especially working with youth and creating public works that empower everyone who works on the project.
Okay, so what does it take to actually create a mural?
Within the Detroit Mural Factory, which was founded in 2009, we said, you know, we want to focus on being a very egalitarian structure, and so we employ the creative collaborative process. So whatever community we're engaging, whether it's a school, a community group, a business organization, whoever we're working with, we try to get as much input from the beginning and work with those people all the way through to make sure that we're representing the vision that they have for the public piece that we're co-creating.
Okay, so your artwork has been in prestigious locations such as Detroit, New York, Japan. Can you tell me how you got there or how exactly they, created that?
Oh, sure. Always seeking to gain community, and so wherever I've lived, I've become an active contributing member to the artist community. So whether in Washington, D.C. or New York, I've joined artist collectives, sought to do group shows, pushed myself to learn from other artists, which I always love doing, and building relationships just like with anything else. So through those relationships, opportunities have come, and I feel very fortunate, to have been able to exhibit in places like the Wright Museum, Skylight Gallery in New York, etc.
Okay, so you spent 10 years on the East Coast. What brought you back to Detroit?
Okay.
You said it earlier a little bit.
Yes, short answer, economics.
Okay.
I found that after living in New York for some years, I was getting less and less time to actually create freely because so much of my time was dedicated to earning an income and keeping, things going.
Okay. So can you tell me a little bit about the Detroit Mural Factory? You created it?
Yes.
Okay.
So the Detroit Mural Factory, for me, was a way to formalize what I was already doing, which was creating murals, and particularly with youth, and wanting to bring in other artists. So we're a consortium of artists, and we're all Detroit-based, and we're all dedicated to creating a better Detroit through this tool of mural making. When I got here, I met Chaz Miller, and he was a huge inspiration. His public artworks on Detroit's West Side, and seeing how that could work. So I kind of patterned that in my neighborhood.
Okay, so does that collaborate with the Detroit Dance Project, or does it
Well,
combine?
The Detroit Dance Project is something that grew out of the work of the Detroit Mural Factory, and that's one of our current projects. That is a mixed media, multi-genre project, and we work with Black Hackerspace and Flower Cabin, and we do dance interventions all over the city. Some of our murals have been featured, and then we turn that into experimental film pieces.
Okay, so this is a current project you're working on?
It's current, it's ongoing, and yeah, it's awesome.
Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching MetroArts produced at Wayne State University. Our next guest is producer M.G. Kelly. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Thanks for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
So those of us that don't know, can you tell us a little bit about being a producer?
Yeah, it's as a producer, it's my job to produce. If we need something for the film or project, I get it. I don't do too much with the audio end because I turned it over to someone else, or I delegated authority because I didn't want to ruin my music.
So can you tell me a little bit about your company?
Devati Studios, we do HD audio and video production. We specialize in independent films.
So you have a movie coming out, and it's called American Violence. I see you representing with a bracelet. Why don't we watch a trailer?
Okay.
It's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of American Violence, where we bring you the finest entertainment in brutality TV.
You're gonna like this part. I promise you will.
Okay, that was really interesting and kind of scary.
Yeah.
Can you tell me the creative process behind a film?
Yeah, it was, I wrote it. It took about, honestly, 18 months because I didn't want to force out the creativity. You know, I didn't want to force myself. And I was joined by co-producer Brian Thauci and Diamond Mike Horgan, the director. And then later we were joined by Bart Batten and Chris Bliss, editing and sound. And we just had the right team, and the project took on momentum, and it kept going.
So producing movies and music must be challenging. Can you tell me what inspires you to go to work every day?
Yeah, because I believe we're meant to be co-creators and not just consumers.
Okay, so we also have a music video called Pouring Problems. Can you explain a little bit about that music video?
I believe it was written by one of the band members in jail. He got a DUI, and he wanted to quit drinking, and they took something depressing, made it upbeat, made it positive. It's pretty good.
Okay, that's great.
We're going, Adam.
Sold our money, brought
drink, drink till he sink, sink, sink to the bottom of the bottle, run to the floor, and he drink, drink, drink till he sink, sink, sink to the bottom of the bottle, run to the floor, drink, 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 sink, 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 bottom of the bottle, run to the floor, drink, 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 sink, 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 bottom of the bottle, run to another dirty floor, run to another dirty floor, run to another dirty floor.
That was a great music video.
Thank you.
Can you describe how you feel when you complete a project?
That depends on how much we can keep and how much of it we lose, but usually pretty satisfied.
Yeah. Okay, what's the most rewarding part of this?
Like I said, my son having faith in me, or my 3-year-old little girl pointing at me on the TV.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Metro Arts on Detroit Public Television. And now let's rock out in the Midtown Studio. Here's Agro or Die with their song, See You Next Year.
What's good? We'll see you next summer! See you next year! Yeah, see you next summer! See you next year! Get away from my eyes! Hibernate in my bed! I will sing! Bring my pastel summer!
Well, guys, that was amazing. I think that's the first time I've ever actually heard a rock band live. So can you introduce yourselves?
I'm Jay. I sing in a rock band. This is Chris, Beardsley, Damien, and Agro Eddie. Hello. Esquire.
So how did you guys come up with the name of the band Agro or Die?
Actually, I just picked like an acronym because acronyms are cool.
Okay.
And then I had something in mind, but I let everybody like give their best attempt at what they thought AOD sounded like, and I thought they all sucked, so I just picked mine.
So they had to go with whatever you said.
Well,
We had no choice.
No, I had something in mind already, actually, to be quite honest. Aggro die is like an old skate term of like, just kind of going big or going home altogether, and that's kind of how my attitude about my music. I mean, just do everything now and do it as big as I can do it.
I agree.
Or quit.
Can you tell me a little bit about your musical backgrounds and who inspires you the most?
Yeah, actually, I've played in metal bands, my whole life, and bar bands, and stuff like that. I've been playing guitar for like 15 years.
Okay.
And I started picking up guitar just because of, like Daryl Abbott from Pantera, Kirk Hammett, Metallica. There's a Squealium Master of Puppets solo. I heard it. I got tingles when I was like 11.
Okay.
So I made my dad buy me a guitar, and been doing it ever since, and hacking it up.
That's great.
Yeah, I've been playing for about 17 years myself. I kind of get influences from Justin Chancellor from Tool and Tim Bob from Rage. Kind of the odd lead kind of bass styles and stuff like that. It's normally where I thrive.
Okay.
And, well, me personally, my musical influences would have to be range from like Run DMC, Suicide Machines, that kind of thing. I've been in bands since I was like 15 years old. I was in a band called Toxic Offenders, Nuke and the Toxic Offenders. I was in a band. I play guitar for this band, so the singing's kind of a new gig for me, but I dig it.
Okay.
D-Man.
I pretty much, grew up listening to a lot of 90s pop punk and stuff, Offspring. Got into metal a little bit later on, Metallica, Rage Against the Machine, stuff like that. I've been playing guitar since I was a teenager and stuff, and learned a couple other instruments, and I feel like guitar is probably like the one I love playing on stage most, so that's why I'm here.
I just like to beat on things, so I started in sophomore year of high school, so about 15, 16 years ago. And everything that these guys mentioned, I'm kind of like into all the same music as well. As far as drums, I've always been a fan of Led Zeppelin, so Bonham from there.
So how long have you guys been a band?
Late 2005.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had a couple lineup changes over the years, though. Chris being the newest guy here, he's been in about 2 months, 3 months.
Okay, so is there, your songs, are they mostly about a certain topic?
A range of topics, but mostly all childish.
Okay.
Yeah, like skateboarding and video games and just kind of generally being bored and being a Michigan kid.
So I take it you guys love skateboarding and no?
I can't speak for the rest of everybody,
No?
but I know I do.
Most of you?
Some of the original members skateboarded, but
Yeah.
Okay, so do you guys have a system in making your songs?
Yeah, actually. Yep. It needs usually like 6 or 7 index cards, paper bag, kitten, shake vigorously, and you just drop 'em on the floor, and then whatever his paw stumbles on first is the subject matter we choose to go with.
Poor kitten.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
No, we just write about stuff that usually the band will come up with like a really kind of cool riff or whatever, and then whatever kind of phrase we can put behind it, we just kind of go with it. So it's never anything in particular that we're going for, but sometimes it just happens that way. Sometimes things get a little deep, and sometimes things get a little silly. So we just make whatever comes to mind.
Okay, so what label exactly are you guys on?
Overdose on Records, our record label based out of Fleetwood, Pennsylvania.
Okay, so why is your album called Summer Dies?
The album's called Summer Dies because we're summertime people. We love summertime, and when it gets cold and nasty out, and if you live in Michigan, it's cold, nasty out.
Yeah.
Most people are unemployed, don't have anything going on in their lives that are spectacular. So, yeah, Summer Dies is just kind of our way of just making a Michigan album about our current time.
Okay, so who did the artwork for the label and everything? Does it have a kind of feel to what you guys are exactly?
Well, I do a lot of artwork myself for the band, and usually I do draw stuff based on songs most times, or what I meant behind them. If I can't get the words out of my brain to make lyrics out of them, I usually just make them into pictures, and sometimes they end up in artwork.
So you just jot them down, and there they are.
Just draw them, yeah.
Okay, so where can people find your music or contact you or locate it?
Well, local record stores, some of them carry it, and I'm working on that a little bit more. You can get it on iTunes, you can get it from Overdose on Records /store.
Amazon.
Amazon,
Okay.
CD Baby or CD Now or whatever it's called.
Okay.
Or just come to a show.
Or just come.
You could do what we're doing this for is you can come to shows and get it. So that's great.
Okay, well that's great. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us, and we're gonna let you guys do your thing again. So thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And here's Agro or Die with 30 Dudes Deep.
Up, up, down, down. Left, right, left, right. Up, up, down, down. Left, right, left, right. Up, up, down, down. Left, right, left, right. Going back on the main. Yeah. They really ran it. The sweat in the real fight. The kid is going belly back. The signals up in the game. Run down the belly road. And take a deep breath. And through the cloud. 29 goes to me, rest everything at night. Up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right. 29 goes to me. MG, roll next to me. Die, roll man. He's shade green, 30 boy blue, 30 boy red. All you hear is singing gangs right up your head. Jump like hay from down that road. Singing deep breath, through the cloud. Up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right. 29 close to me, dress everything at night. Up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right. 29 close to me. Yeah. What? Yeah. What? Yeah. What? Up, down, down. Left, right, left, right. Up, down, down. Left, right, left, right. Up, down, down. Left, right, left, right. 29 on the bay. Up, down, down, left, right, left, right. 29 on the bay, dress everything at night. Up, down, down, left, right, left, right. 29 on the bay, dress everything at night. Up, down, down, left, right, left, right. Up, down, down, left, right, left, right. 29 on the bay. Out. What? What? Yeah. What? Radical.
Well, we hope you enjoyed today's show. I would like to thank our guests, Halima Cassels, M.G. Kelly, and the band Agro or Die for joining us today. I'm your host on MetroArts, Naksheen Nassif, reminding you that art is an international language we can all support.